Welcome back. This lesson will be on the Stamp Act and other acts or taxes that might have made the colonists mad. The big question that we're asking here is, was the American Revolution avoidable? So I've already given the students a lesson on the Proclamation of 1763 and the French and Indian War, and maybe some of the ways that the colonists would have thought that it was unjustified for the British to pass the Proclamation of 1763 and keep them out of the Ohio River Valley. So here's another thing that keeps the colonists thinking that they're being treated unfairly with the passage of the Stamp Act and other acts. Okay, so we start today's class with having the students write out these 6 acts or taxes in their notebook, giving themselves 3 to 4 lines where they can fill in a summary. I will give each student a strip that has one of the taxes on them. Again, these are from the C3 inquiry. The big inquiry is, was the American Revolution avoidable? And they have all these different primary sources and secondary sources. One of the documents is just composed of all of these acts and taxes. I've cut them into strips, and each student will be responsible for one of them. They will become the expert on it. So I give them about 5 minutes to summarize the tax or the act on the back of the strip, or they can do it in their notebook if they'd like. Summarize it in 2 to 3 sentences, and then get them out of their seats and have them teach others about their tax or their act. They will then fill out their chart with the others. This took about 10 or 12 minutes, depending on the class, and then we went over them as a group, okay? Then I show them this video. It's from NBC News Learn. It's called the Stamp Act. Their videos are usually pretty good. It's a little dramatic. I had to stop it a few times to make sure that students were understanding by giving them a little bit extra explanation. They also learn here that the Stamp Act was eventually repealed. Okay, we go from there and watching that video to a NewsELA article on the Stamp Act itself. And here I'm having them read it silently first through and having them do a bit of an evidence hunt. The claim I give them, the claim is this: British attempts to tax the colonies made the colonists mad because the colonists thought the taxes were unfair. Now I'm going to have them find evidence that would support that claim here in the article. There's a lot, okay? Mostly right in here. They thought that the British were there to watch them. That might be like the Quartering Act. This is a reference back to the French and Indian War, that they were helping the British Empire. Then we have here the no taxation without representation claim. Okay, so this article gives them a lot of information that can help them back up that claim. It also gives them a lot of background information, as well as, what happened as a result of the tax, particularly that the colonists started to boycott British goods. So we have them read them silently, annotate it, and then I read it back to them so that they can get a second pass at it. From there, there's about 15 minutes left or so in this 85-minute period. I asked them to write about 10 minutes with this claim. It's a 10-minute quick write. Utilize the evidence from the article to back up your claim. If there's a little bit of time at the end, I talk about citing sources at this point. I want students to avoid plagiarism at all costs. And so I have them read this paragraph. I'm using the claim also. So they've kind of written their own. Now they're seeing how I would have written it using the evidence that I did. And I'm particularly pointing out the way that I'm using in-text citations and how I'm leaving a works cited section at the end. I use these videos from Scribr. Scribr has also a citation generator that I'm showing students so that they feel taken care of, also so that I can make sure that they avoid plagiarism. Okay, that's the end of this 85-minute class. Next class, we are talking about tarring and feathering, and we're also talking about the Declaration of Rights, which was the colonists' reaction to the Stamp Act. From that perspective, we're talking about the ways that the British might have felt that the colonists acted unfairly. That's all for now. If this video helped you at all, please hit subscribe, please hit like, it really does help, and I will see you next time.